In this video, you're going to learn how one of my students made over $100,000 in one single month just after a few months of working with me. It's going to be really interesting to understand what he actually focused on, and when coming into the program, he thought he just needs to work on his mass testing strategy. When in reality, he already had a pretty good product going, and we just needed to tweak a couple of things about the creatives to make it blow up. I think it would be really interesting for you guys to also see what it actually takes to revive a product from going down to actually start to grow again. So let's get started. Welcome to the interview, Mika.
Thank you.
When do we start with the program? How did everything go? Maybe you can tell your story in general.
Yeah. So we started in I think it was middle of June. So it's been 3 months now, and that was a point in my kind of my e-commerce journey where I had ran my first winner for a couple months, and that was actually the thing where you finally get something working, and then everything just kind of starts getting lazier and yeah, then it suddenly is not working anymore. So I had a couple good months or one good month, and then it started a slight downhill, and I knew it's gonna get worse if I just don't make any big changes here. So that's when I got to you.
Understand. So yeah, how did it go from there?
Since then, that was actually June was actually my worst month during the summertime. So everything just started to go up, like not super fast, but everything just turned around and actually got more, I guess, more diversified, more predictable, more yeah, everything's basically more diversified. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand.
Yeah.
Understand. So, yeah, maybe you can share your screen and we can go through how everything went from there.
Yes. Here's my last 30 days on my main store. This is the store that does like, I don't know, 80 to 75% of all the volume right now. And it has been doing, this is the one I found my first winner back in the end of March.
And here you had trouble scaling it in general back before we got started. What specifically happened when we actually did like make a few changes and we saw the better numbers? What were the changes and how did everything progress?
So I actually had a lot of problems with that. That just came with the scale, and some of them got just solved gradually over time. And we did some changes to like upsell funnels and just Facebook structure. Mainly, the biggest things have been just like just minor problems that would have taken me a lot of time to figure out myself. I can just like ask you, and there's always an answer, and I always know what to do next. So that has been a really big thing. But basically, when I started to run this product, there were these there were these like lockdowns in China at the moment in April and May, and I had a couple of instances where I had like 500 orders pending, and I couldn't just fulfill them. I couldn't get the product anywhere, and I had to change the supplier. I had to do that a couple of times, and still those problems persisted. But gradually, they just like, now it's working fine. It's been working fine since, I guess, June.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And maybe select like a little bit of a bigger time frame here, and so we see the progress.
Get the year to date.
Sure.
So here,
so
the start of the year was actually really quiet. I had another product on the store, or a couple another kind of winners. I wouldn't call them winners right now because I only did like 10 to 15K a month with them, but it was profitable. I couldn't scale them further, but yeah, then they kind of died out after Black Friday.
Okay, so here we basically see that the graph just like doubled, like roundabout doubled from like around 40 to 50K, around that number, to now getting closer to the 100K mark. And yeah, basically for you, this is not the only store you're running, right?
Yeah, so I have in total 4 stores, basically 3 different ones and one backup for this one.
Got it. And how are they doing?
They are doing okay. Like I said, it's not too big, anything too big, but like here's my second biggest one that has been going up and down a little bit, but it's still made a good profit, and I actually really like it, and I hope that this can scale a lot further.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, so roundabout per month, how much revenue and profit are you doing currently on everything?
I did last month. I did just barely over 100K revenue, like 101, 2, something like that, and that was that like profit on that was around 20K before taxes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And this month is going to be a little bit better. It's going to be better in terms of profit, and it's going to be a little bit more revenue as well. I hope that only the main store gets to 100K. It looks pretty good right now. And yeah, do some volume on those as well.
Okay, perfect. You could wait. Let me stop the screen share for you. What would you say, kind of like since starting dropshipping in general, how would you say did that impact your life? How do you what's different like before and after you do dropshipping in general?
Well, a lot is different. Like actually this year has been pretty life-changing in terms of I was working a job before at the end of last year, and I knew that wasn't the route I want to take, and I didn't really know what to do if this doesn't work. Or before I even heard about dropshipping or e-commerce stuff, I was kind of lost at that. What should I do? But right now, like, I don't know, I've been doing plus 10K a month profit ever since April. So, and I've been kind of traveling a lot and stuff like that. I have a lot of freedom right now that I didn't have before. I don't have a stress about the stuff that I did before.
Yes, yeah. 100%. And you like everybody, like what you just said was like, okay, I had this phase where I started to let everything go a little bit, started to chill a little bit more, started to travel and do bullshit basically and have fun. And I've been through that as well in the beginning. However, now that you're kind of in the program itself, I think what I've generally seen is that it's kind of easier to focus a little bit if you have people around you who are doing the same thing, and that's just like the priorities shift a little bit back into the business itself. But for you, what would you say is your goals for the next, like, let's say 2 years, 3 years?
My goals for the next 2 years, I really want to build a brand and sell it, and take that amount of money and do something else with it. But I really like this business model so far, and I think I will stick to it for a while.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you say were kind of your biggest learnings from the program itself?
From the program itself, so one of the biggest things that actually has made me a lot of money on this program is this, just like pretty much mindset things. When we get into this business model, everyone says that you have to kill things quickly and move on with products. You don't get emotionally attached to everything. And I've almost done that with my winners. Like when everything starts to go downhill a little bit and everything, like the stuff doesn't look so good, it's easy to think that, okay, this product might be over. This might be it. There was not looking too good anymore. But then like you've done this, I don't know, many times. You just said like, no, it's just test more creative, or just test this or test that. And it's actually done a turnaround almost every time.
Yeah, now that you say that, it's really interesting, because I remember like in the beginning when you kind of came into the program, you felt like more, okay, we need to start to search for new winning products, and that's going to be the priority of the program. But it kind of turned around a little bit, and actually was working.
Yeah, just lagged there a bit. But yeah, basically when I came into the program, I thought like this product life cycle is already over, and I had a couple of those, and I'm still running the same products after almost like 6 months now. But yeah, and there's been many times, and I still think about it with that other story I showed you, just that has been doing the ups and downs a little bit. I think the niche could be the niche could make it like that, so it's not as stable, but it could also take off. I really believe so, because I've learned that in the program.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So a very big learning here is you need to double down on things that work. And a lot of people, they see that everything works, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, things drop and go down, and they think, all right, the product is dead, I need to move on. When in reality, that's a very normal life cycle. A product will always go down if you do not test a crazy amount of things. And if you're not going to test a bunch of creatives, a bunch of new offers, a bunch of new pictures, a bunch of new things in general, new audiences, whatever. If you don't do that, if you just leave Facebook to do its own thing, it's not going to get better over time. It's going to get worse because it gets saturated. And the main reason for that is when you personally see an ad on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you saw that ad 5 different times already, you do not stop even scrolling. You see the color scheme, you know, I've seen this already, instantly you move on. And Facebook notices that this ad becomes irrelevant. And that's why they rank it worse, and just Facebook algorithm treats you worse. It's pretty simple. So that happens with ad fatigue, and with generally like with things if you let them do their own thing. So most people just, again, fight problems which are not really real. And they start to change products when in reality, the same exact thing is going to happen again with the next product. And they think, okay, I don't have the right products to make something consistent. When in reality, it's you doing the problems because you like it's not consistent because of you and not the product. So yeah, I've seen it's a pretty common thing. And honestly, to me, it happened as well. Like for my first couple of products, I killed them way too early. And this whole thing with not getting emotionally attached, I do agree with not getting emotionally attached. I also say that you shouldn't get emotionally attached to a product, and you shouldn't do things too much. However, that applies, number one, in a scenario where things do not work. Like in the beginning, you put in a lot of time and effort into your store, and then nothing works, and then you keep putting in more and more and more without having a proper proven concept. However, in your case, we clearly saw it already made like a few $100s, like $100, like 100K at least already, which basically were there. However, it just started to kind of spiral downwards, and it's pretty simple to change that and actually make it go up again if you split test the right thing. But what would you say is kind of the advice you would give to a person who, first of all, just starts out with dropshipping, and then I'm also going to ask you for more advanced people.
Yeah, so if you're just starting out, you have to get through these basic hurdles. You have to actually make the store, have to actually run some ads. That's might be one of the biggest ones, actually. Lose some money, learn from it, make the first sale, then you're hooked after that, basically. And there's also this thing where at the beginning, everything looks so like you're so motivated to do a lot of things. Then you fail a couple of times, then it gets incredibly boring and incredibly frustrating for a long time period. But like success with this, I think it's almost inevitable if you just don't quit. I know it sounds cliche, but that's how it is. You're going to find a winning product if you just keep going and learn from your mistakes and just trust the process.
Yes. Yeah. And the big problem here is that people don't learn from their mistakes very easily in the beginning, because if you don't know what the problem is and things don't work, it's very hard to identify what the real problem is. Let's say you test a product, it doesn't work. As a beginner, you don't really know why it doesn't work, if it's the product, if it's the ads, if it's the offer, if it's the product page. And again, they start fighting problems which are not real. So it's very important to either have a person who's looking over the things and telling you, okay, you have some issues in the funnel here, and this is exactly where it is, or you need to be prepared to have a very steep, like very slow learning curve, because you can only teach yourself so much, because you just have to luckily find that perfect thing, which is going to be the game changer. And if you keep testing new things which are not real, it's not going to be helpful. Yeah, but for you, by the way, where do you know me from? Like, how did you meet me? What's the reason you specifically decided to join my program?
So I'm from Finland, and I just basically stumbled upon your videos on YouTube, and I was just searching for answers on certain topics. I don't really know I don't remember what those were, but you just seem to have the right videos. You just seem to have all the answers, and I kind of just the algorithm just led me to you, and I just knew I made all this profit like in a couple months. I made a couple plus 10K profit months, and I knew like I have to do something with this money. I have to pay myself forward, and yeah, that's where I started to look for a mentor.
Got it. Okay. Okay. And for you, like currently, what would you say is your, like, how does your day-to-day life look?
Well, how does it look? Like I do some of the manual work still myself. I answer a lot of messages to different suppliers and my VA, and negotiate some stuff, and then I do product research. I do new ads, improve the stores that I have, and just, I don't know, bounce around new ideas.
Yeah. And be 100% honest. How many hours per day do you work?
That's one of the biggest challenges for me right now. Actually, it's not a lot. I try to, at least for now, I try to put everything on Google Calendar, like we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. And then when you actually type in what you have done, it's not a lot.
Not a lot at all.
And there's a big challenge when you get things working, and that is the Shopify app is the most addictive app on your phone. It's worse than TikTok. And yeah, you just have to like battle the urge to look at the analytics and look at the stuff that doesn't make money all the time.
Correct. And like on a basis of hours, what would you say? How many hours per day do you actually do dropshipping?
I want to say like 5, but yeah, it might be. It's really hard to tell. People ask me how much I work, and then I always say like I don't know. Like I kind of work all the time, but then again, if I type everything down, it's not that much. But then I usually do like a evening session as well, and I kind of do a lot of stuff without really thinking that it's actually work. It's hard to tell. It might be a lot.
Yeah, and
but not too much.
From the things you actually do, which ones are like what are the things which actually are money making, and which ones are like kind of not that important?
Product research, testing new products, testing new creatives, and testing new angles, and just testing stuff on the stores that already work, and just basically building systems that would help me with bigger scale. Like, the ones that don't make me money, just looking at the analytics, basically you have to do a sum of that. I have a lot of campaigns running. I have 4 stores. I have to look at the ads for like I don't know, at least a half an hour a day. But
and do you have employees right now?
Do
you have employees right now?
Yeah, I want to be a.
So like is she or he doing it full time or no?
Yeah, full time. Mostly customer service, and some product pages and stuff like that as well. I think I need to train her even more. She can do a lot more stuff. Yeah.
So what would you say are the things which are the easiest to outsource, which you still do, which are the least important?
So the first one you should outsource is, of course, like customer service. That was the first thing. And store building is kind of easy to do for someone else as well. And I don't really know what's after that. We talked about the email marketing. I could hire some kind of specialist to do that.
But I mean, from the things you do day to day, which take the most amount of your time, which are the ones which you could outsource right now?
Well, I could outsource profit tracking. That takes some time, and I don't know. It's tough to say.
Because that's the real question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, I do a lot of like miscellaneous stuff that takes some time, but yeah, just small things. And a lot of it's just like, I think my VA could do it, but I just haven't thought it yet.
So
some things in order processing, and if there's like any problems, just communication and stuff like that.
It's right now extremely important to do this because number one, I would have a second VA. I would have like not be 100% dependent on one person. I would have at least like 2 people. And basically what I would do is I would just do exactly what you do with a calendar and then see which ones are tasks which I repeatedly do. There's not too much thinking involved, and I can teach that inside of less than a month. And if you have, I'm sure you're gonna have a bunch of those things. So if you see them, you're actually gonna be able to give them away. And then the key here is, for example, if your product research guy, or no, if your product page creator is creating your page and he's doing some small mistake, I personally tend to have the urge to just change the mistake and that's it. Like fix it super quickly, not a big deal. What the real thing is you need to do is you need to tell them you did this mistake, change it. It's super annoying. It's a very big annoying process, but it's just more efficient because in the long term they're not going to do this mistake anymore. And do you do the same? Like, do you also do this?
I try to do it. It's really difficult to just fight the urge to do it yourself, but I know that because I was working in consulting before, and then when you do something, you literally do it over and over again until it's perfect. So yeah, I know how that works, but I didn't know it's actually difficult to manage people like that yourself.
Yes. So that's basically going to be the next step. And in the beginning, it's like you just have to think what is actually making you the most amount of money and what cannot be outsourced. And that's the thing I'm going to keep doing. All the rest is bullshit. All the rest is just like in reality, I cannot imagine how you do 5 hours per day, which you cannot give away. You know what I mean? Like I would estimate that you could give away like 3 and have left with 2 and then still keep doing 5 hours and expand even more. But I think that's basically going to be the next level.
Yeah, for sure. I know that as well.
Yeah. But for you, what was the like main things you've gotten from the program itself, except for keeping going with the products you had?
A lot of knowledge in different subjects, like just a good product research framework that I actually I'm not too like comfortable with it yet. It's kind of a different style that I've been doing before, and a lot of like accountability and just a lot of momentum with all the group calls, and you always get when you have some questions like a couple times a week, you always get answers to them and always get something else to do. You don't like run into a situation where I just would sit down and don't know what to work on, basically. And then there's the network as well. That's really motivating because it can be this business can be a really lonely at the beginning.
Extremely. And for me also, honestly, that's why I do this coaching thing, because in the beginning it was really lonely. I had like a few VAs, but there were no like people who I could constantly talk about this all the time. And right now it's like I truly love this because I have this like huge network of all the people who do exactly my strategy, which follow everything really well. And then on top of that, just other people which are like already like on really higher levels, which I've connected with just through the times. And it's just so much easier to actually do the thing on a regular basis and just learn from it. Because for me, I would say I've learned 10 times more from the coaching program than from dropshipping, because I just see an overview over 30 people at the same time, what's working, what's not working, how it's working. I see every single product every person tests. And my knowledge of it is just completely different than if I would have tested everything, you know?
Of course. It's a huge amount of data if you like look at all of your students versus just your own stores.
Yeah,
of course,
100%.
There's always someone to talk to, like, and you can talk about the things you're interested all the time. It's a big thing.
It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. So yeah, basically, I think that just having the database, or like as much data as possible, which is going to go through your head, is the most beneficial. And basically, this is why I've seen the results and the strategy itself getting better over time. And even though it's like more people in there, like even though we have more people, the results get way better because I just see exactly what's working, what's not working, and how it works. But yeah, for you, like, what would you say is the main kind of the main advice you would give to people who have a profitable or break-even product, which is like doing okay but not really, really great, to actually get that to scale?
If it's profitable, you have to know the fact that in this business and in a lot of other businesses as well, you can pay yourself out of almost any business related problem you have. You can always buy new accounts, you can always buy new stuff, you can always pay someone else to tell you what to do. And then that's how you actually get to the next level. It's pretty simple.
Yes. And in this business, you're 100% right. Like, money does solve a lot of problems here, because there's two options. Either you just ask a person and pay the money for the answer, or you just get very specific things. Exactly like you said, like accounts. You can buy a bunch of things which are just going to make everything more consistent and make it work. And the account thing, what I've also seen is very interesting, is that sometimes you do everything right, however, you're just not profitable because you have a shitty account. And I've seen this so often, how you test something, it doesn't work. However, on another account, it works really well. And it's the same exact thing. And we've also seen this with stores which are on a high level, everything works great. Then we test it on a new ad account, doesn't work. Same page, same everything, and it doesn't work. This means that if you constantly test things, it doesn't know it, like you cannot even be sure if you're doing everything perfect and it's outside of circumstances, or if you're doing mistakes. And in the beginning, that can be very, very frustrating. You test 20 products, you did everything right, however, you have a shitty account. Or you think that you have a shitty account, you retest all the products again, and then it was your product and the account had nothing to do with it. So
of course,
it's very important to be able to kind of pinpoint where the mistakes are.
And if you're already like, if your business has already taken off a little bit, and most of the problems could be probably solved by like strategic advice. Probably like you already know how to copyright, you already know how to operate Facebook Ads Manager, stuff like that, but you just like don't know what to do strategically.
100%, because the main thing is, where do you put your priorities? You like exactly what we discussed in the beginning, where you thought your priority is going to be to test new products, but I was like, no, your priority needs to be the current product, because they were definitely working. I do not see a reason why this is going to die down all of a sudden because of nothing. You need to test one. And then you did that, and then the priority was shifted to the current product, and it worked. And it's very important to just have the right priorities and put in the time in there. And that's why right now we need to optimize that even more. So your time is getting more valuable and more valuable every single month. So if you tell me, okay, a few months ago, before we started, you made around like 10K profit per month, amazing. Then you got like to around like 20K mark, and now you're getting to like 25 or 28 or something like that. You said this month, amazing. And this means that your time is getting more valuable. So if your time gets more valuable, you need to pay people to do the same jobs. And you can sometimes pay good amounts of money. Like if you understand how much it actually is worth to you to put in an hour into something, it's not a problem at all to pay 100 euros for 1 hour of a person's work. Easy, not a problem at all, because it's just worth it.
And one example how like having some profit can really work out is last Q4 I was selling a product for doing like 10 to 15K a month, and I was seeing my competitors doing it really well. Like they were just killing it. They had really nice video ads with influencers and stuff like that. And I just thought like my margins were really thin, of course, because I couldn't scale further. And I just thought like, I can't do a video ads like that because I don't have the liquidity, or I don't know if it will work. It's too much of a risk, pay someone a lot of money to make a similar video ads. And yeah, it's just, if you just can pay a little bit more and you actually know that it will work, or it's worth the investment, like it's likely to work, then it makes sense. And someone has to say to you that it's likely to work if you do this thing.
Correct. And the thing here, which is very important to understand, is this one video you try, you pay the person, and you understand, okay, the chances of this working is, for example, 30%. So it can work, it cannot work. That means that there's a high chance that it's not going to work, but that's not a problem, because you just need to do it like 5 times, and one of them is going to work. And you need to see the concept of averages is just so important, because if you do a mistake, like a bad investment, so you invest into an ad and it doesn't work 10 times, but you understand it's the right investment because they do need to hit something until it works. You need to understand that you just 10x the price. So basically you say, okay, it costs 100 euros. That means I'm going to pay 1,000 euros for 10. One of them is going to hit. And I understand that one video, which is really good, is going to be worth to me way more than $1,000, which I paid. And if you understand that, it's just you're so at ease, because you're going to look at on the video, if it doesn't work, all right, I didn't lose $100. I just invested $100, and one of them is going to hit. I didn't invest $100. I invested 1,000, and that's what works, you know. So one video is worth way more than $1,000, and you know that from your experience. Like one good ad can literally change the entire business. So having this concept of averages is very important. Same thing goes for products. If you understand that even if it's really bad ratio, every 20th product is going to be a winner, which is really, really low. All right, so you need to test 20 products on average to find a winning product. And how much does it cost you to test the product? Let's say $100 you're going to lose on average. So that means that $2,000 it costs to test 20 products. That's not bad, because the upside
it's not bad.
In product get higher. Yes, the upside is way higher, which is 1,000 times more than $2,000, because a winning product is just so worth so much more. So it's just how the perspective should always be on money is the average of investing. Even if you do some misinvestments to get to another good investment, it was worth it. I don't see it as a big deal. So that's that. But for you, I think the main challenges which are now going to come is all the hiring people, because honestly the rest seems like it's figured out. You have a pretty good amount of diversification in the business. You have a few products, you have a few accounts. That's all good. It's just mostly about your time. And I think actually, if you want, I can blur it out on the interview. But if you want, we can go through your calendar and see what we can optimize there.
No, actually, I don't really have a lot of stuff here right now. For the past week, I was kind of on a holiday.
Lazy again, huh?
Yeah, in Ericeira, Portugal, surfing. But nice. I thought it was gonna work, but it didn't.
The putting in the
hard way. No, actually working and doing kind of a holiday at the same time. I thought it was gonna work, but it doesn't.
It's tough, right?
Yeah,
it is tough. It is tough. So for me, how I would see it if I would be you is I need to earn myself the holiday by outsourcing the work. Because you can do holidays, no problem, but outsource first.
And I don't know. I really don't like the idea of a holiday right now. I rather just keep the momentum going, like no days off, just do a little bit of work, but kind of do something on the side. If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I understand. And yeah, the other thing is like what I've seen, what works for me pretty well on holidays is just having set schedules. Because if I have a call with a student, if I have a group call, if I have a like new call with any person, that's a spot where I need to be sitting down with Wi-Fi, with a laptop. That's it. That's it, you know? So if I have that, the same thing applies also for dropshipping. I started to do this where I saw with the mentoring that if I have a very, like I just have an appointment, I need to be there, that's it. The same thing you should do for dropshipping. This hour, there's no, yeah, I can do it in an hour later. No. This is the appointment you have with yourself where you're going to do dropshipping for an hour or two. That's it. Yeah. And if you see it that way, it's like really helpful. Like I literally can sometimes stress myself to go to a place with internet just to do things which I could have done 2 hours later, just because I said to myself, no, I have the appointment here, I need to do it here. That's it. So I've seen that's like pretty helpful for most.
Yeah, I do a little bit of that as well. Yeah, but it's a really tough business because you see the actual payout of the work you do, you see it like weeks or even a month later.
Yeah. And the same thing goes the other way.
If you don't do anything,
it's also just later you see that. No, but excited to see the growth with you, and we can maybe do like an update interview a few months from now and see how things progress from there. But yeah, appreciate it that you are on the channel. For everybody else watching right now, if you want to join the program, click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session with me personally. We're going to find out if we're going to be a good fit. If yes, we're going to get started. If no, then not. And yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.